It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
The heat is driving me crazy. We've had some really hot days. It was 121 degrees yesterday. Not here. We're in LA, but I know it was like 112 here, but the high was 121.
Woodland Hills.
Well, you said Woodland Hills. It was 127 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think it was today or maybe yesterday, but either way, that's still hot as shit.
Just crazy heat wave.
That's the word for it. 127.
Feels like an oven. It's a heat wave. We had some rolling blackouts. Thank God we didn't experience too much craziness, just some internet interruptions. It's really, really hot during the day, so you have your central air going, and then it gets really, really cold at night, and you turn it off. So I was just trying to find a balance in this because I'm a native Californian. I'm not used to it being this hot. It's almost like it's making up for some summers or something like that. It's just really hot. So other than that, I am feeling good, and
I'm praying for everybody's electric bill.
Look, I'm okay with it. With everything going on, I would hope that some of the bigger companies be more understanding. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and a lot of us are experiencing things we've never experienced before. I've never seen anything like this, so I'm in agreement with you with those prayers. That they will just be understanding. There's some favor, and they have a forgiveness program. Like, we're just going to dismiss this. This is not even considered debt because we understand what was going on with the economy. Medical bills, utilities, all the unforeseen stuff, because people get sick. This type of heat right here, it can, be the onset of strokes, all kind of stuff. So I just hope that everybody is doing well and just sending positive vibes. Lou said prayer to all our listeners and just to the world.
I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. And I know I didn't even tell you anything today, what we're talking about. I had so many topics.
It's all good. I'm for it.
But one I got set on. I've kind of decided on this one a few minutes ago because I've been thinking about it. Through me browsing the movie sections and just music, all of it, I would say I'm a romantic. I don't think I'm a hopeless romantic. Some people are probably more flowers, candy. I don't even know the levels of it, but I know I'm the Notebook girl. We watch Boomerang, Bridges of Madison County.
I was just about to say it.
Just Right. Loving Basketball is not on my top list, but I'm looking for that one. The Proposal. There was another one. I love movies, but the romance, it just gets me. Just like, wow. The depths that some of the men go through, or the women, just the story, the beginning, the end, the chase. And, I'm trying to think of one of my top romantic movies. And it's hard when I've just watched Boomerang. Just Right was really, I think out of the two, Just Right would be the more recent one where I was just like, oh, I thought that it was really romantic. Some of the stuff that he did, he was thoughtful when he was pursuing her. If you guys haven't seen Just Right, I like it. It was cute. Sometimes what you're looking for is right in your face. That's our last podcast. You might go for the physical stuff. Mm-hmm. But Just Right is a good movie. It's with Common and Queen Latifah. But check it out if you haven't. But leading into the topic, is romance underrated?
Is romance underrated?
Yes. And the reason why I said that is because I just don't hear about it or see it anymore. I'm always going back in the catalog and I watch something I've already seen. But I just feel like right now, everything is over sexualized, or there's no build up. It's just like you met, you like each other, they together, there's no build to it. And I think that romance isn't just one way. I think that you can get deep off into a guy too and think of things that may woo him or pique his interest or kind of catch him off guard. I enjoy that type of stuff. I enjoy learning about a person and finding ways to surprise them or catch them off guard and unexpected, something they may have never thought. It doesn't have to be a special occasion. Just kind of digging deep into a person that I say that I like, even with friendships. And I'm not going to say that you're romancing a friend. I just feel like romance at this point, I could be wrong, but it's not something that's heavily pushed, and they push a lot of stuff on social media, through marketing when we're out in the world, through advertisement, billboards, all that. I don't see that anymore. And I think it's underrated because it's a beautiful thing. I think when someone takes the time to peel back the layers, work up to, it's almost like a form of foreplay.
Why don't you just tell people what your definition of romance is? Because I think that's where the main issue lies. Is I don't think it's really defined to the newer generation or just people that's not familiar with it. What do you think romance is to you, in your opinion?
Well, initially, and I think when someone hears it, and I'm going to actually look it up too, but romance is usually alluded to flowers, candy, opening the door for her, calling her throughout the day, playing a song, things like that. But that's not my definition of romance. Now, when I look up the definition, it says a feeling of excitement and mystery associated with love. That alludes to what I think romance is. It says a quality or feeling of mystery, excitement, and remoteness from everyday life, the beauty and romance of the night. So when I think of romance, for me, it is the excitement and mystery associated with love. The exciting part to me is the feeling I have for, I'm not putting you out there, but just how I began to care about you. And I just wanted to learn more about you and connect with you in a deeper way. Like, I think that intimacy goes beyond just the surface, touching and actually having sex. There are different levels of intimacy. Romance leads to that, getting to know a person, thinking about them, not just in a sexual way, but thinking about not only do I hope his day is going well, but how did that go in regards to him finishing, and I'm saying with you finishing that song. I wonder what he did to the song. I want to hear it. We can share that together. Maybe we should listen to it together. Maybe I should ask if he's open to me listening to it. We can cook. And after we eat, we can listen to the song he just did. And then we can discuss it and we can break down the lyrical content. Like, that type of stuff is romantic to me. When a birthday is coming up, now I'm jumping over to a special occasion. Like, what would really catch him off guard? What does he really like? What are all the aspects of you? And so I think it goes back to the definition, because somebody else may be like, that was so romantic. He sent me flowers. But I don't even think that that's something that's put out there.
What I've learned since I've been married to you or just being friends with you, I also learned that, which I had a hunch before, which is another reason why I didn't do it a lot, is every woman is not a flower girl or going out to eat is not their thing. Like, I know you like food just like the next woman, but that wouldn't be my ideal way of doing something romantic for you.
Right.
I think you hit a key point with saying, what can I do that's gonna woo him? And I think one of the biggest mistakes with couples is that they do things that the world say is romantic, as opposed to something that's romantic towards their specific spouse or their partner. For me, I like sports, music, cars. I like scenic stuff. Like the Hans Zimmer thing we did. Was that last year?
No, I was like 2.
You sure
2 years.
It wasn't 2019? Well, whenever it happened, it was either 2019 or 2018. Like, if somebody asked me what was my top 10 dates or top 5, that would definitely break top 5, because Hans Zimmer is my favorite music composer. He came during August to do a concert, and this guy never come to the States to do his shows. And I look up one day and she was like, yeah, I got us some tickets. I was like, tickets to what? The Hans Zimmer show. And I was like, holy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was exciting to me. That trumps any dinner or any suit and tie outfit that somebody could buy me, because that's something that speaks me.
What you said a few sentences back, I really agree with you. The world can just box what romance is. If you don't know the person, it can start with, I'm going to send flowers, if you don't know. But once you do that and you start to kind of dig in or work a little bit, it's a beautiful thing, because you get to see different reactions and responses and you get to know somebody more. It's just a statement, doesn't mean it's the truth. For me, romance, you take time to create the scenario, and not just one time, because I like working up to things. Just imagine, I like to say on the part of a woman, because people may not hear it very much, but romancing a man, to me, that's just super dope. Whether it's you rub his feet, his back, give him a nice bath, or you get him a box of cigars, you rent a room. If you want to get away, you do a staycation. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch, but it's like, hey, a friend of mine's in town and I want you to meet them. They're staying at the such and such inn. Text me when you get there. Just come up. I'll meet you. I'm already here. And you get there and you're thinking you're coming to meet friends of mine. You get up to the room. I open the door, you think I'm answered, and it's like, come on in. Where's everybody? And it's like, it's going to be you and I. However you want to unroll it. I got some other stuff I do, but I got your cigars, kick your feet up, I'm cooking, whatever it is, just something different, but it's tailored to the person that you have this love for. I believe foreplay begins before you get into the bedroom. When you stimulate somebody mentally or you speak to their senses in a different way, because sex is sex. That's going to happen. We know that's what everything is working up to. It's a matter of time, but that only lasts for so long. But when you can think back on the care that somebody or the time that somebody put in, the effort to really delve into you. I mean, is it making sense what I'm saying? Or am I kind of like all almost after? Because I want to see that for Josiah and Jair. I want to be a part of them creating and loving on someone in that way and just being romantic in that sense. I don't want to say is loving on someone underrated. Is romance underrated? Because it's all levels of romance with that.
To add even more value to the point of playing on someone's senses, and I don't mean playing, but knowing who your spouse is mentally and really understanding that and knowing how to be romantic in regards to that person that you're with. Honestly, ladies, if your man pays more attention to everything but sex, the sex is going to be even better for you. Think about it. If he took time out to figure out how to woo you before he got to the bedroom, what do you think he'd do when he got in the bedroom? If that makes sense. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I won't downplay myself saying that I'm just totally aloof, but at the same time, being with B, I've elevated my mindset in terms of what I used to do, but doing it better. Let's say I know you like to watch movies. The old me would do something like buy a whole bunch of movies that I know we would both enjoy watching, get a bottle of wine and come in with some food and be like, hey, let's watch movies all night long. And you would appreciate that. But being around you and understanding the creativity that can come and it's still simplified, what could elevate that idea would be renting a room with a big tub that actually had a TV in there and you had access to watch DVDs and movies all night in that big tub soaking and have candles lit and then go into another room where you can watch it and it might be a fireplace in there.
Right. I think the true beauty is in the effort and getting better because people may not get it right off the top because everybody's not the same. But as you begin to watch and ask questions and over time, you begin to have I know how he is or I know how she is. And you try a couple of things and it's like, ooh, that worked. That didn't really garner the response I thought it was. That wasn't bad. The effort in there. There's success in it. I think that that's a big thing that's missing in relationships. I think that because it's missing, there's other things that aren't happening. It's almost like this is not bad. It's got some salt and pepper. But if you would put some bay leaves and, they got some Cajun seasoning and cut up some fresh onions and bell pepper. Now you getting down into it. Ooh, and if you had marinated this meat. So this meat is not bad. A little salt and pepper in it, some olive oil in the pan, and you cooked it. It's not bad. But this meat right here was marinated. They cleaned it. They put a marinade over it and they tenderized the meat and it was marinating for 2 days. Then they went out and they put it on the grill. It's like, ooh, and it's juicy. It's just different. It's still food. It's still nourishment, but it just hit different when you put that time into it. And I don't think that romance happens overnight. That's why I've just been really thinking about the whole thing with sex and romance. It's like he did this, that equates to we gonna have sex. I don't think that everything that's done for you, man or woman, leads to sex. That's a part of the romance too. Have you ever stayed up and talked with somebody? We stay up sometimes. We look up, it's 4:00 in the morning. We've been talking, drinking wine and just laughing at movies or watching something we saw again or just having a deep discussion. That's stuff that is just priceless for me. Driving the coast or going and parking by the water and reading a book that you and I are like, well, I'm gonna read this book and I know you're gonna read it. Why don't we read it together? First 30 minutes we read, or if we an hour you read 15 back and forth, and then we just sit there and enjoy the breeze off the water, and then we might go get something to eat. But it's just like, it's even beyond self-care. Like that's an element. I think even you're doing it sometimes, but I don't want to say romance with your friends, but the same type of time and care you put into your friendships. Because I know some people that go out with with their girls every happy hour. That's my girls' time, or the guys. We get together and we bowl or watch the game together, throw something on the grill, throw some cold ones back, and whatever it is. That's time you're putting into it, and it builds a bond. It builds strength in you all's friendship. It's like, man, I've been knowing him. We've been in the bowling league for years. We play basketball or football in college, and man, we'll go to the happy hours. You see how that works up to where it's like, man, they tight, thicker than thieves. They are tight. And that's not underrated. That's almost expected for friendships. When you see it, it's like, oh man, I'm about to get with my boys. Or, we get our feet done together. We go and we have our mani-pedi day. Or, girl, we going to the winery. Or even fraternities. They have meetings or stuff that it's required for them to attend because it strengthens the bond. So why is romance left out of the equation in relationship? Because it just strengthens your relationship a different way. And I might be the only one. Again, that's why I love that we can have this open dialogue, because hopefully it opens up the conversation for someone else, or it's the seed just planted to think about if you're going into a relationship, or you're in a relationship, or you're pursuing someone. Man, romance and them just hit different. It adds a different type of element. It's like, I know what this is. This lemon on this? What is this? This just hit different.
I believe it's imperative to pay attention to who you're with in order to acquire these different seasonings for the ultimate romance for you guys. Because as you grow the bond and chemistry, things do tend to, if you allow it to, get complacent. You think what works or what worked a couple of years ago or a couple of months ago, however the dynamics of your relationship is, you think that that's gonna work the up and coming year, and it doesn't work that way, and it shouldn't, because the more you guys grow together, the more you have in your arsenal to pull from to be able to do some amazing things for one another when you want to sweep each other off your feet. Just being observant, really being dialed in. I mean, you used the example last week. Fellas, we know all the things about our favorite team, but we couldn't tell you what fragrance our spouse likes. I don't know, but it's something sweet. Or, it smells sweet. I don't remember what the name of it is. Or, just simple stuff. And it's not that you don't love her, or it's not that you don't love him. It's just, I believe sometimes complacency can set in, and that's what causes the romance to be, lack of better words, dull. Because originally it wasn't dull. We talk about growth all the time, and even in romance, that shit grows. So as you guys' relationship grow, the romance should grow. And if somebody romance is growing and yours is not in the relationship, it'll show. Because whatever you were doing before, they'll be appreciative, but they might come off real sincere, as they should, and be like, thank you. And you can tell if you've been paying attention, like, well, what's wrong with you? What? Nothing. And it's like they don't know how to explain it to you because they're appreciative of what you've done, but they want some more spice in it. I think the efforts plays a big part into growing the romantic part of a relationship. And I think you really have to, as a couple, set aside some time for that, because life gets in the way too. So I totally understand that perspective, and I don't want to negate that fact either, because if you're a working group where she's at work or you're at work, or you guys are both entrepreneurs and always gone, that romance stuff can be a casualty of war at some point if you allow it to. So you have to make it a priority to set aside time to do that. And B already alluded to it. You don't have to overcomplicate it. When you know who your spouse is, trust me, you don't have to overthink it. It's really about all the effort. And when you with somebody that knows you and vice versa, they know when you putting up a ton of effort, and they know when you're not. Because what happens is you're in a house or you're in the same vicinity with these people a lot. And if you're married,
quarantine, you're really figuring it out now.
So to my married people out there, you guys know you're around your spouse pretty much 80 to 90% of the time, hopefully, barring the people who work and, travel and stuff like that. Most married people probably around their spouse. Let's, I guess, be more modest. Let's say 60 to 80% of the time. So with that person being around you that much, they can see when you putting like tons of effort into something. They know what your 100% look like. I'm not giving you guys who stay in separate apartments or whatnot and you dating, I'm not giving y'all ass an out, but I guess you might be able to slide a little bit more than a married people because they can't see your efforts as much as somebody that's staying in the same house, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean they can't see it.
And you know, I'm real big on when you bring something to me, you better come with some resolution, some resolve, some ideas, some suggestions. Don't tell me something and just leave me out there. So for people where this may sound super foreign, or it's like, you know what? Wow, I'd like to do something like this, but I don't even know where to begin. Start in a position of service. And when I say serve, see if you can wash her feet. You can buy a bucket from the store, catch her off guard, catch him off guard. This is just not limited to women. And ask, you come in a position of service. Can I wash and rub your feet? Wash my feet. Yeah, it's not a pedicure, men. Just wash her feet. Ladies, wash his feet. Really get a little tub of warm water, and you can put Epsom salt in it. If you want to bubble it up, whatever, lavender oil, put it in there, soak, and wash his feet. And then rub his feet. Rub her feet. If it's like, I don't do feet. Some people don't do feet. If she's making dinner and you don't cook, bring in dessert. If you have kids, bring in some dessert for just you and her after the fact. She won't even know that you did it. Pay attention if you already know she likes something and you got to get it from the bakery. It's a cake that she doesn't have all the time, or he really likes this, get a bottle of wine. And after dinner one night, it's like, babe, you know what? I got the dishes. Don't worry about it. Or I got dessert for us. We having dessert. Yeah, we're going to have dessert together. Whether it's on the couch, it's at the table, pour a glass of wine. If you don't drink, some cider. They have all kind of stuff, and some pretty glasses, and have some dessert together. Wash his or her hair. Can I wash your hair? Can I rub your back? Can I rub your hands? Wash the car. If you see that it's dirty, wash her car and get a freshener and put it in there. Something that you know she would like. For him, grab a sports magazine when you out. Pick that up. Become interested. Even if it's something like, I would never read this. I got this sports book. I mean, why do you read these? Over a bottle of wine, create a discussion. Most of the time, what's happening is we're giving based on what we need. It's like, it's the bare minimum. I cooked for you. I look out for you. I make sure that your clothes is washed. I speak to you in the morning. I'm not mad. I'm in the shower. Everything is just movement. It's motion. It's just happening. It's all what is. It's almost like what Chris Rock say. That's what you're supposed to do. Even with parents, you're supposed to do. That's the bare minimum. When you start going outside of that, it's like, babe, the game is on. Let's go to the bar and watch the game. They got outdoor seating now. I found a sports bar because we passed by one the other day and it wasn't even that crowded. And you saw like 4 or 5 TVs.
It was in Studio City.
Right. And you said, ooh, I want to go there. Or find a winery. They have outdoor music now. Just tailor it to the person. If you want to give her a bath, like I'm saying these things because sometimes the movie makes it so extra. Mm-hmm. Like, oh man, he sent her 5 dozen roses, rose petals on the floor.
That it works for everybody and it doesn't.
Or it just don't fit in your budget. Somebody thinks it has to be a special occasion for that. Oh man, I got to buy the roses, and you overthink it, like you said, and it becomes so much, especially with everything that's going on right now. Being attentive and taking time to cater to someone, it don't cost much. That's why I said even rubbing somebody's feet or washing their hair, or who you with. If it's like, I washed out the bathtub and I'm running you a bath, don't worry about the kitchen or nothing. I got it. And even in saying you got it, you go ahead and you go the extra mile. It's like you might rub the person's back while they in the bath. Like I said, rub their head. And then it's like they wine is right there. And it's like, okay, I'm going to step out of here and let you have some me time where you can just meditate. And it may be some aromatherapy going on there. The potpourri don't cost much to burn some candles. I love candles. The scented ones, they smell really good. Go into the stores and see if they have some candles on sale, 50% off. Pull on the salespeople and ask them, what's this scent? What's that scent? It's so easy and it's so worth it. Life is precious and it's short. I don't think anybody should go without appreciating and being appreciated. Just loving on somebody in a way. And I'm saying loving on now, but the word is romance. On Boomerang, remember she did all those dishes with him after the people left, and then they ended up spending time coming up with
Star Trek.
Yeah, and then remember they actually came up with the whole marketing thing, right, for Grace Jones. I believe that romance is underrated, overlooked, and downplayed, and it's so wrong, especially with the generation now.
They need to see that type of stuff so they understand that it's more value to intimacy and connection that you grow with somebody outside of the bedroom. And then, like I said, if that's something obviously it leads up to, you will realize it's much better than what you've been throwing yourself to, because at the end of the day, if somebody spends that type of time trying to cater to your needs and being that observant just by doing those simple gestures, what do you think would happen in the bedroom? And I'm not saying that's the only reason why you should be doing it, but I just want you to get an idea of like, dang, this person really cares about me. And then when the sexual part does happen, unless they just fool you completely, and sometimes that happens, but it's my opinion that I feel if somebody puts that much effort into trying to cater to your needs beyond the bedroom, I can only imagine what they would try to do if they was in the bedroom. And I'll leave it at that. And then the other part I would like to say is, men, let's just stop being lazy and trying to do the cliche stuff with the flowers and the dinner, and only do that type of stuff if that's really what you saw your significant other talking about. Like when you listen to the conversations that you guys have, or let's say you was just privy to some information, if you know there's these specifics or intricate things that you could do those things. I don't want to make it sound like it's complicated, but if you hearing different nuggets that would allow you to be able to do something that's really specific to her, then do that. And women, sometimes my
right
advice
now it
to
could
you,
be her or him.
No, I'm saying her because I said to men. Because most times, I can't speak for every man, but some men do try to do what they see. They're not stretching their mind to try to do anything beyond the, like you said, candy, flowers, dinner. I'm going to take it to the nicest restaurant. But that may not even be what it is. You've been dating her all your damn life, and you know this woman like hiking. You ain't going to take her hiking and have a dinner up there. Why wouldn't you do that as opposed to taking her to a restaurant and you know she's an outdoors person? So that's what I mean. And
or we could have dinner outdoors. We can meet in the middle if you're not a hiker.
Okay, well, either way, you can do that. And then sometimes I feel like women, I won't say all of you, but some of y'all do things that you would want somebody to do for you. So I'm saying that to say,
or don't.
Yeah, you give your boyfriend or you give your husband the gift or the romance that you would want somebody to do for you. And that's not necessarily what he wants. That's something that I think is a common issue too.
Yeah, what you were saying, I was saying two different things in there when I said no, her and him. One, when you do something for the male based on what you think he would like. Sometimes the other part of that too is, ladies or men, what you're asking for, be that. If you aren't willing to give in the capacity that you're willing to receive, then just stop. I can speak from what I've heard amongst conversations with women where he needs to do this, he needs to do that. And if he don't have this and he don't have that, and it's like, well, did you check your resume? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to invest that type of time and care and effort into him? Or is it just, well, he needs to be happy that I'm his girl, or because I'm his wife, I am deserving of that? It's a two-way street. It's one thing, I mean, and you said that too about alluding to what can happen in the bedroom. And I'm just going to go even deeper than that. Before I say this, because everybody's not on this level, I want to say this is some grown folk stuff, but you have to be on a different level to even be receptive to this. To touch somebody's body is easy. It's real easy. Or as they say now, to blow somebody's back out, to make it a mission like we just gonna go all night. That's easy. When you can touch somebody's soul, when you can make them think about you, not sexually, just want to be there for you, and it don't have anything to do with sex, that's a deeper level of connection. It's a deeper level of commitment. I've heard where men are just great in every department, and it's like, He just don't do it for me like that. But when you've connected with someone, you can even work out the areas of the bedroom. And I say work out meaning there's work that can be done there, because it's like, how can we reach some levels of intimacy? But I'm with you, what you said earlier, when you putting all that work in on the outside, it just makes you want to do better in the bedroom as well, if that's not your strong area. And that's a whole nother conversation to have, because I think that's something that's like, ooh, I don't want to raise my hand for that, because I know I'm putting in work. But as a woman, sex is easy. An orgasm is easy. There are women, do you see it on movies? You hear about it. Women have toys and dildos, which I still am like, what is that about? Some of those dildos they pulling out on these movies, and it's like, oh my goodness, I need my batteries. I don't know what that's about. I'm not in that club. But if a woman can pleasure herself, there are other things I feel like a man should be coming to the table with. That's just the cherry on top. Somebody else may be like, no, because I've heard women say he got to be packing, his money got to be right. And like I said, this conversation is not for everybody. Just like Jack in the Box is not for everybody. Chick-fil-A is the spot, or whatever. For those listeners that this resonates with you, the level of intimacy in the bedroom, that touch is easy. To start delving in and touching somebody from the inside out, that right there, that's different, and it's beautiful. So I'm hoping that this helps someone, or it's something that someone is open to experiencing, because it's underrated. It's underrated, overlooked, and downplayed. And it's that deal. It is that deal. You know, that's a whole nother thing. You could set the mood, and the plan was to have sex, and you fall asleep from rubbing each other's feet or talking and laughing, and you just pass out. But it's not even a problem with it. There's so many other levels to connecting with people that you love. And I encourage you to get in there. Try it out. It ain't for the faint of heart. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to stretch yourself. But it's worth it.
I agree.
So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to keep this conversation going, or you have a suggested topic, we're encouraging you. I'm looking to email us at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You want to check out the latest snippet of the one that just dropped, you can do that on our Instagram at realfitradio. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.